Hello, and today I'm going to be exploring my long-term creative world. It's just going to kind of be a continuation of my recent series of videos that I've been putting out. And much like those other videos, this is also a final goodbye for this world. Oh yeah. Before I get started, I'm going to give a brief history on this world, and that I started it about 3 years ago, like most of my worlds. It's about when I got my PlayStation, actually, so that's why it came about 3 years ago. And I've had it ever since. I've built in it off and on, but after a while I kind of quit, like 6 or 7 months ago, I think. So I haven't been here in a while. But I've built a lot of stuff in this world over those 2 years. I'll show you the map room after I start the first stuff I built. This here is both the first and the last thing I've ever built in this world. This bit up here is the last thing I built. But the castle itself is the first thing I built. Pretty small castle though. Not like some of the later ones I built. At the time I didn't really want to build anything too big. So yeah. Still a room full of gold and emeralds, and a bedroom with 4 beds in it for some reason. And that's the master bedroom. Go farther up. There's a tower. In this world, I'm not showing the interior of most of the buildings, because there's simply too many of them, and a lot of them are either unfinished or very repetitive. Those ones are repetitive, those ones over there are unfinished. And here's I'm going down to the little mining town I made. It's the first town I made in this world. It's a crane thing I have for the iron. And this is only one of the 2 mines in this world. I'll record the other part of the mine in a separate video because when I go into spectator mode, there's problems when I'm recording. There may not be commentary for that part either, for that matter. But yeah, over here is the kind of the main town that I built. It's not the biggest, but it's the town. You have the library here, books, for some reason. I have a, what is this? Tools and armor store. Blacksmith shop. This is the tavern that I built. It's really small. I have a much bigger one elsewhere. You've seen the interior of this one now, I guess. It's the food store, yeah. Head over to here now. I'm gonna throw on an electric because it's a pretty big world. Although I probably already have one on. See? Yep. And as you can tell, I do have a texture pack on for this world. It still looks decent with that one on, by my standards, which aren't very high. But I've just played with this texture pack. Even though it's not my favorite texture pack. I have a lot of better ones on Java Edition. There's the Ukrainian flag for some reason. I think I built that like 2 years ago. I haven't taken it down yet. I might eventually. I probably won't though. There's a map of this area. This area is not really too worked on. A farm there. Some custom trees scattered about in a few houses. And as you can see here, over here is an unfinished village that I made. And there's a naturally generated village. And this was going to be an entire desert city here, but it never happened. Another thing to note is that I artificially put this desert in this lake. You can see because of the underground lines, or underwater lines, I mean. And this here is another unfinished project. I barely got started on this one. It was going to be the capital city of this nation, but that never happened. Even though I got a capital building built in a port area. Not really much of a port, but that's what it is. And here's kind of the Capitol building. There were going to be more government buildings at some point, but for now it's just this one. Did I say Capitol building, but it's more of a House of Legislature or something? Or House of Parliament. So you have like this room here. And another one, which had a bunch of tables. And I'm pretty sure there's a third one upstairs. Yeah, there's a third one. Some offices around here. You go even farther up and get to the library room. I kind of like this library actually. It has a nice little roof there and a lot of books in it. There's another library underneath here, but it's not really too exciting, albeit I'm going to go out that way. It's really claustrophobic cramped down here. And other than that, the interiors of most of these buildings are pretty boring, so I'm going to go head on into this area, which is one of the most unfinished areas. This is going to be a town up here, but it's just two houses, or I guess a house and a mill. And down there is the mining town that I'm going to head to. This is one of the, like, 4 entrances to the mine, albeit the main entrance is here. And this is the unfinished mining town. I'm going to head back over to here, where we have this area, where this area is a lot more built up than the other areas, because it's one of the first areas I worked on. We have a small town here, which I just copy-pasted the buildings, so I'd never go there. You have this building here, which is a little house. You have the other town on this island, which is a bunch of stone houses I built. They look a lot like villager houses, because that's what they're based off of. And you can tell that I built a lot of stuff here, but didn't put much detail into most of it. There are some things that I put more detail in, but most of it's pretty repetitive. And here's a little fort, or castle or something. You go upstairs and you can get into a little courtyard, or I'll just call it a courtyard. There used to be things living in this courtyard too, but they died for some reason. I legit don't know why. They just did. Come back down to here. Here's the other area built. I'll show that off last. It's pretty big. Takes a while to go through. Over here, there's like 5 towers actually, all in the same area. I don't. There's a small one, a really big one, a couple small ones, and another small one. And this one's ruined too. Originally, this one was the only one out here, but now it's not. And also, originally, it was supposed to be some desolate ruin that some guy went insane in or something. And that's his grave there. Now I'm going to head on up, over this way a little. You can see here, this area is a little less developed. You have a little ruin here, a couple houses down there. Oh, and here's this absolute disaster of a town. I'm not even gonna show that off. Here's another house out in the woods. I just built this and then didn't build anything around it. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a important building at one point, so to say, but it's not anymore. It's just a house in the woods. Nothing really exciting about it. And over here is a tower I built. I might actually go into this one because I kind of like it. I guess that's a bush. Okay, never mind. I don't like it because all the rooms are empty. Unless I just built it and then forgot it existed or something. Now I'm gonna head over to here, which is the only real city I've built in this world. Even then, it doesn't have any surroundings or anything. But it does have a really big blacksmith shop with actual people working in it. It includes a room down here where there's tons of netherite and stuff. And a storage room over there. And a little shop area in here. Yeah, these villagers are ugly in this pack. I think most realistic packs mobs are ugly though. Oh, and this is a house. Except I don't know what kind of house. You have apartment buildings. And let me tell you, are not fun to build because they're really repetitive. Really repetitive things aren't very fun to build, I'll say that. And this is a little inn here. It's like the check-in room or something. Or I guess guest office. I don't really know what they call it. Because I've never really gone to. Actually, but not the room's called. And then you have all the other smaller rooms. And then more rooms down here, apparently, which I never labeled. Nah, don't even know what this is. Not very exciting, though. This is the capital of this territory area here. I kind of divided all these areas up into little provinces or territories or something. I don't remember the names of all of them, but they're there. And then here's that really big tavern or restaurant area that I talked about. It's bigger than the other one, anyways, and has 2 floors and a kitchen. And then we got here. Here is yet another castle I've built in this world. There are quite a few of these, actually. This one, I don't really know what it was supposed to be. It appears kind of a house area. A bedroom, another bedroom, an empty armor stand. I have no idea what the 3rd floor has on it. Oh, another bedroom. A large area here. As for the other capital, or not capital, castle, there's a bunch of government rooms here. Like this one, which contains a large table and a map. Sorry about that. Now we head over to here. Yeah, there's some stuff here. This area is one of my favorite areas of the world. There's a little floating island that was originally going to be a floating island town, but that didn't happen. Instead, it's a wooden floating island castle. The interior here, into the territory, is another table. I'm not really going to go through this though because it looks like all the other castles just about. Plus, I don't really remember how to go through it. I guess it doesn't look exactly like all the other castles. You have a room here. It looks a little bit different from the others. And then there's a single house that I don't think I've been in since it was built. And there's a reason too. Ain't got anything in it. And here's how you get up here. It's a little floating island area. Originally it was originally it was a harder parkour course, but I kind of made it easier over time. Even though I can just electro my way in, or fly in because I'm in creative mode. It's supposed to be a little parkour course. And down here you have a little crystal valley, or amethyst valley. Which are kind of built to be in the shadow of this island. And you can also see here my 2 attempts at an artificial mountain. This one's really bad. That one's not as bad. And here's a town I built here. Here's a kind of store, I think. Then as you go down, you can find some houses and stuff, like this house. I don't really mind this place too much. It's definitely more unique than some of the other things. Although I definitely wouldn't want to sleep in a place like this if I'm up in the mountains. Here's another little house, another one there, which is marginally better than all the others. Not much. I have no idea what this thing's supposed to be. I'm just gonna build it. Now I'm gonna head over even farther up to this building here. Into one of my favorite buildings because originally it wasn't actually built in this area, but it moved. And it's kind of supposed to be a cathedral of sorts. It's really big. It's like 50 blocks tall or something, maybe even taller. I don't know exactly how tall. But it's definitely not a small building. There's tons of archways in here and decorations and stuff. You can tell that I put a little bit more effort into this than some of my other builds. Or I like to imagine that anyways. You know, this is just from the, I don't know what this chair would be called, but so I'm just going to call it like the main chair. You can see that's more off to the side, but it's nothing too special. A lot of seating, a lot of lighting, and a lot of arches. And for some reason there's a fountain in here too. And then if you go even farther up, you can get to a mangrove swamp, which is actually an artificial swamp. Which So I was able to use commands to replace all the dirt with mud, but I had to plant all the trees manually, and that took a while. This is a little swamp town I built. Built this right when 1.19 dropped a couple years ago. And it's a lot of houses here, a lot of shops. Or I guess not shops, buildings, I don't really know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here, I guess. And this tree here, which is central to the religion of this village. And then you go over to here. There's some stuff hidden in the woods, which I'm not really going to show off too much. I'll show this. This is a hidden house there. I guess not, because there's nothing in it. And if you go just a little ways into the woods, there's a hidden village. I don't really remember how big it was exactly, but there's some houses there, another one here. You go farther up, more beds and a library area here. It even contains an enchanting room and more books. Yeah, these guys kind of just hide out in the woods, or wood, but there's no villagers here. Probably all fell in the water. And you go even farther up, you get to this area, which is it's a pretty small town. It was going to be a city, but I kind of gave up on it after the third or fourth building. There's a market here, though. And it would have been a lot more of an actual city if I built more buildings, but I did not. So now I'm going to head up to here, the very top of this world, which is a military base, which protects against the people who live up in these jungles. And again, there used to be villagers here, but they mysteriously disappeared. I'll just say they all died of invasion or something. And here is the wall. I'm not going there much. Rest of town. And that's a map of this area, because originally this town up here was the capital of this province area, but that has since changed. Along with that, there's also some towers mixed in, and a few mangrove trees. Now I'm gonna head back down to the south. I think it's south, could be north, or east or west for all I know. Whatever the case, I'm heading in this direction. And here's the place that I like to call Pitchfork Rock, because it looks like a pitchfork. This is the first town I built that wasn't in that area over there. Although you could hardly call it a town, because there's only 3 buildings. Now I'm gonna quickly head over here to the ruins that sit here. Which come from when I tried to give this world lore, which did not go well. Because it was very bad lore, because I don't really know how to write that. But nonetheless, there's ruins here now. I think this one has a basement. Or not. Maybe it's this one? Nope. It must be this one. Yeah, this is the one that has a basement. Except I didn't even build the basement. Just a hole in the ground. Oh, no, there's a satellite I built. I have no idea why that's up here, but it is. I'm not really going to show it. I'm going to head back down to the main thing in the world. Not the first thing, but it's definitely the biggest thing I've built in this world. The parrot that was on my shoulder, apparently. Yeah, this is kind of the castle and main capital building of sorts. It's not really on the first 3 floors. Once you head up, there's some stuff. It may still show the second floor, though. Parts of the second floor. Definitely not showing the whole thing. Like, there's this room where you have a bunch of corrupt offices. Including one who has a barrel full of rat poison for some reason. You head down here. This is an even worse area because that's where all the financial offices are. And the kind of legislature building, too. Let's see. I'll call this one the Parliament. Originally, before I built that Capital City's Capitol building, this is the only Capitol building, so it has kind of things from all of them. I'm gonna break my way through here and go up to the 3rd floor. It's not really on the 3rd floor, actually. I don't even think there's any doors there, just for show. And you head up to the 4th floor, where there's some areas that are 2 stories tall. It includes this, which is the hallway to the throne room of this place. And here's the throne room, where you actually have 3 of them. But this is the main one. This is where the king of this nation sits. Or I guess emperor, because this nation's technically an empire. I say what you see is just a main area. They also have colonies, I'll say. Plus, this is Minecraft, so an empire doesn't really have to be too big. But yeah, nonetheless, this is kind of like Capitol building in the throne room area. And down here is where the military hangs out, I think. There's also some stuff here. Yeah, this is the military's offices. And here's a kind of planning room or war room. Which, as you see, this is Northern Jungle Province, because that's where the fighting takes place in this world. There's constant invasions from the north of there, which are usually repelled. And you make it upstairs to the, I think, 5th or 6th floor, where you have this room, which is a large dining hall with no kitchen attached. I don't know why. As well as some housing up here. Except it's, wait a minute, there are still houses here. They're just really, there's nothing in them, so I'm not going to show them. Oh, and here's the map room. Yeah, this is the entire world. This is the name of all of the provinces, I think. Let me see for certain. East, West, Mainland, Bardenland, Orland, Crossland, Hedgebund, with Phone. I could have sworn there are a few more than that, though. Yeah, these are all of them. Oh, wait, never mind. That's smaller areas. This here is, I'll just tell you which one. This one's mainland, or West Mainland. This is East Mainland here. That red line kind of in its border. These areas aren't part of the nation. This place does not have a name. This island and some of the surrounding islands are called Bardenland. And this kind of island here is Wallonaland. Then this area leading up to about this stony line here is Creeksland. Then you have this area, which is the Withona Plateau area. Over in this area, here you have Detchbund. And then this big plain here is Krovsland, which includes what was going to be the capital city. In this northern area, which is jungle and swamp, is, I think it's Dovsland. And this place does not have a name. But yeah, this is kind of the entire world here. And I guess eventually I'll show the mine too, but for now I'm going to go to the very top of this thing. It's not really too much exciting. I would give a full tour of the building, but that would take like half an hour, so I'm not going to do that. It's going to have the same situation that Church of the Holy Rose did. Oh, and up here's kind of the main beacon of the world. You could turn it off if you need to, but I keep it on. This tower actually has 9 beacons in total, though, or I guess castle has 9 beacons in total. But yeah, I guess I would do a more in-depth tour of this world, but that would take a few episodes. So this is kind of more of a brief overview for the most part. Showed some of the important stuff, some of the stuff I actually kind of like. But yeah. Also, there will be a mine video before long.